I don't think
I
Bruce Pearl is being forced out. University has not made any statement of separation from Bruce Pearl or
and
Bruce Pearl's
that's
statements.
where I was getting. They agree with him in a way. They don't see that what he said was wrong. But optics don't look good. Do you get what I'm saying?
So
It's like, it seemed
I
to
hear
me
what
like
you're
it's just an
saying.
under the table, like, we're going to give you an
Nah.
opportunity. Listen to me. I mean, I went there.
Oh, we have a major loss in the world of collegiate sports. This is devastating, so devastating, more so for one of us than the other. Bruce Pearl, the head basketball coach at Auburn, War Eagle for some of us on this set right now. You lost your basketball coach, Samari. I feel bad. I'm sad for you. What are your thoughts on your beloved basketball coach, who I know you care greatly for, leaving your university?
You get on my nerves. I think that for a lot of the Black alumni, we're not particularly sad. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the show, but let's just kind of start with what happened, right? So got the alert on my phone that Bruce Pearl was stepping down as the head men's basketball coach at Auburn University, and that his son, Steven, was going to be an interim. That was the first thing, that maybe he'll be an interim. And I'm like, okay, like, Steven's going to be an interim. They're not going to keep Steven, because why would you keep the son of this person? But whatever. And then I think what was more head scratching for me was that Bruce Pearl was now named an associate assistant to the AD. And I was like, oh, okay, so you're not really out the building. You're now the AD's right hand. I was like, okay, this is really interesting. Like, what's really going on? But let's go back though, because I think that we got to start with the war in Gaza. That's really where all of this started, because Bruce Pearl is Jewish, and he lets it be known that he is proud to be Jewish, and he was pro-Israel, because he was very outspoken about that, his stance on the war in Gaza. I think that afforded him opportunities to be on certain networks. And I felt like maybe he got comfortable. Like, okay, wait a minute. I think I found my people on these networks. And that wasn't really what got him in trouble. We had a whole discussion about really what got him in trouble. And that was his comments on former President Barack Obama. And now, most recently, his comments on Charlie Kirk. Okay, so let's fast forward. Auburn University released a statement from the president saying that those employees that had anything to say about Charlie Kirk would be reprimanded. And now, as an alumni, I saw this, and I had a lot of friends on Facebook that were sharing.
You old as hell.
Okay,
sorry.
Shut up. I saw a lot of people. I rarely get on Facebook, but I did get on Facebook.
Try to walk it back now. You was on Facebook scrolling. Don't do that.
And a lot of my, former classmates were sharing it, saying, well, what about Bruce Pearl? We've seen a lot of discourse about Bruce Pearl coaching Black athletes and why Black athletes should not even want to play for him. Let's just say people are upset about the comments from Bruce Pearl, particularly because he coaches a squad that is like 98% Black. And the things that he says and kind of his alignment. We shouldn't really know where you fall, but now we know where you fall.
Can I just stop you here real quick? Because you're talking about how a lot of people may view and people may feel. I want to know how Samaria Terry
We're going to get into
feels.
that. I'm just laying it out. We're going to get into that.
We laid. Pause.
So, okay.
That sounded crazy.
This is how I feel about it.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it's giving to me that there's not enough done. That's not good enough for me.
What you mean?
Him being able to step down and now be an assistant to the AD is not good enough for me.
Oh, you think this is a penalty of sort? You think that he's being ousted?
I think that Auburn had to save face a little bit. I think that they were getting, because Auburn is in Alabama, but we're a little bit more liberal than our big sister. Just a little bit more. I'm saying seriously, we are. Than Alabama, yes. But listen, Rodney, they were getting a lot of heat from alumni, from students about the things that Bruce Pearl was outwardly saying. Because as we talked about before, this is not something that you usually see a coach do, especially one that is coaching a team that is majority Black. We don't normally see that. When have we seen that?
Well, what sport that matters isn't majority Black? I'm just,
Well, and we're not seeing, because if this was Nate Oates, best believe people would be going in as well. It's like, wait a minute, like, yeah, you at the University of Alabama, but if this was Nick Saban, like, we would not be going for that. And we have seen Saban now, as he's retired, be kind of close to Trump. But I'm talking about when they were in the role.
Well, we had Dabo Swinney, who's getting his ass whooped out there in Clemson every other week now.
And he's probably not going to be there.
Yeah, but not because of his political position or where he falls in the race war. It's really just because his team is ass because elite Black players don't want to play for a man like that. So a little bit different.
Okay.
I don't think Bruce Pearl is being forced out. This is my personal opinion. I think, the university hasn't come out and made a statement, saying anything that he said was out of bounds or that they don't stand with. The university has not made any statement of separation from Bruce Pearl or Bruce Pearl's statements.
That's where I was getting. Okay. I was getting to that, is that they agree with him in a way. They don't see that what he said was wrong. But optics don't look good. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, it seemed to me like it's just under the table, like, we're going to give you an opportunity. Listen to me. I mean, I went there. Like, I know, like, the South, like, is different. But I'm saying, I think that they came to him and was like, look, we want you to step down. Like, you kind of gone too far. And maybe they've given him warnings behind the scenes and we don't know. And then they negotiated something that made him feel comfortable stepping down. Okay. Seriously.
I
and that was his son being given a 5-year deal, which is crazy.
I can understand that. And I listen, your ears are a lot closer to the streets of Auburn University than mine ever will be. But I don't think people generally care. I think there's been so much going on in the media and news cycle that nobody really knows what Bruce Pearl has or has not been saying. I mean, we work in sports and you went to Auburn, so we might have a little bit more investment. But to the outside world, he's not. Black Twitter ain't talking about him, and they usually the ones who the first people to get somebody fired. And in lieu of, I gotta just be honest here, and you might not like this, but in lieu of what we saw go on this week with Jimmy Kimmel, I think that more and more people should be allowed to take up the position that is true to their heart in public spaces. If Bruce Pearl is pro-Israel, if Bruce Pearl feels however he feels about President Barack Obama, then he should be allowed to articulate that. Now, the penalty for that should be based on who now he can recruit. His recruits may not want a certain type of recruit, and a certain type of parent of a recruit may not want their student athlete to be a part of his team. But overall, while I don't necessarily agree with all of what he says, I am in complete agreement that he should be allowed the luxury of being able to communicate how he feels about a number of things. And while I know we love to separate our politics from our sports at convenient moments, contingent upon what side of the aisle we may fall on, ultimately, sports and politics do go hand in hand, because we sing the Star Spangled Banner before every major sporting event. And unfortunately, sports is now a place where, politics are playing out in real time.
But it's okay when you lean on a certain side.
Well, do you think Bruce Pearl is leaning on the side that's losing right now?
No, I'm talking about whatever side of the aisle in politics that you fall on. One is okay and one is not.
Which one is okay and which one is not?
To merge. I feel like if you're more right-leaning, then that politics is okay in sports. Nobody bats an eye about that. I know. And
that's Bruce Pearl.
Exactly. I get that.
So why would he be penalized for being on the winning team?
Because I think that at the end of the day, right. I think that there were some heavy hitters behind the scenes that weren't happy. That's just what I think.
Man,
I don't know. I don't have any sources, but that is what I think, Rodney. I think that they said, okay, you've gone too far, because that was bad publicity for the university as a whole, especially when they decided to come out and put out this statement saying that, okay, anybody that has anything negative to say about Charlie Kirk, you're going to be reprimanded.
Yeah, but saying something, I think you're taking that statement out of context, though. Saying something about Charlie Kirk does not mean saying something positive about Charlie Kirk. If you say something
I know
negative,
that. And then when they said that, they released this statement saying they were going to reprimand people for comments that they said. Now, a lot of the alumni are like, well, hold on. Because you had a coach that's been saying stuff, not about Charlie Kirk, but just in general.
Hey, I know Auburn at one point last year was the number 1 ranked team in the country. Okay. They made the national championship game, if I'm recalling correctly. And I don't think of Auburn historically as a basketball powerhouse. The money that Bruce Pearl brought into that university would make him Teflon, respectfully. And none of what he says or has said caught national attention nearly enough to be something that walks him out that door. I think more than likely what's happening is maybe Bruce Pearl is having some health issues, which he has had in the past. And so that is a more likely scenario. In my estimation, I got something going on. I'm not going to be able to fulfill the duties of being a head basketball coach. I want you guys. I made this university so much money. I've changed the face of Auburn basketball. Give me the parting gift of installing my son in my role, very similar to what Bill Belichick did over in UNC. And I think that's a much more likely scenario. Beyond basketball, Bruce Pearl, who has been making the rounds in all these political media outlets, he has said that he will not be running for political office, which is good news. But also, he can be a little untrustworthy, so he might do an about face as well down the line. We never know how that's gonna go. But yeah, I don't think anything that he said it got him removed, and this is like a quiet Michael Jordan retired, but you really suspended kind of thing. I think
it's just maybe my bubble is Auburn alumni, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that is my bubble, and that's what I'm seeing down the timeline. And that's when they post, I'm seeing the comments.
We got that boy out of here.
No. Because he's not out, Rodney. That's what I'm saying. He's not out.
Yeah, but
he's not the face of the program anymore, but he's still in the building.
Yeah, but being the face is so much more important than being in the building. You know that.
Rodney, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to say that they are not, it's almost like they're like, okay, you can still be in the building. We'll still give you like $1 million a year to be an assistant to the AD because y'all cool like that. Okay. But you cannot be the face of this program with those views. That's what I think has happened.
But you can't, I hear what you're saying, and we're going to wrap this up. But if the university felt like Bruce Pearl put them at risk, right, and was a liability, they would not install his son as the head coach because it's not enough separation and distance from the statements that you're saying that potentially could have got him quietly removed. So if they wanted to do a rebrand, it doesn't matter. Like nobody even knows who Bruce Pearl's son is.
It's so nuanced. It's really nuanced because we're still in Alabama, right? And there's still heavy hitters on the other side. And I feel like this was a way that the university is trying to appease both sides, right? That's just what I think.
I hear you.
We need to get Olivia Pope in here.
I hear you, man. Y'all. I want to hear from my family out there because Samari and I, we seeing this a little bit differently. Obviously she feels how she feels. I think it's more likely to be a health issue than any of his political statements. But Fumble family, we want to know, how do you feel about Bruce Pearl's relieving himself from head coaching duties at Auburn University? Do you think there's something more dark and sinister going on here? Let us know in the comments section.
And please go click the link in our bio for our newsletter. We have you up to date on all of the latest things happening in sports this week.